Hello everyone and welcome to this, well, let's call this a let's chat or something. This is just me talking, getting some stuff off my chest, to give you guys sort of a peek inside that mind of mine. Um, Mind you, this is not a video asking for attention or whatever. No, this is just simply me doing some talking, just opening up. It's not something I am particularly good at. It's not something I do often, and it really is a shame that I don't do that. And by lack of doing that, in person to people like directly uh, aside me or in front of me, I'm doing this. Consider it like a test run for me to do in the future more often because it's really healthy for a person to do that. And like I said, I don't do that often enough. And I kind of mentioned in the stream last Sunday, which is pretty much the only recording I've been doing so far this almost 2 weeks now. I've kind of withdrawn myself in an ivory tower, so I don't really know if that is an expression in English as it is an expression in my native language. It's basically locking oneself up and trying to run away from the world around you, from reality, from everything that might hurt you. But I kind of have a reason to do that. And as sorry as I am for everyone who is looking forward to my videos, everyone watching my videos, everyone enjoying what I do, I sometimes feel the need to recluse myself, and that's kind of stupid. I know. It is not productive. I know. But it is still something that rears its head inside me, and it's just this urge demanding to be done. It's something that I try to get rid of, but at times it's really hard to stay out in the open. And that is why I'm talking. Stepping out of my room, stepping out of my ivory tower, and out into the open. Now, why do I do that? Why do I feel the need to recluse myself? Why do I often mention things in the past happening? Let's go into that for a bit. I have mentioned in the past that I've lost stuff, and to be clear, it is a lot I've lost. Almost a year ago, I lost my job. And not just my job, I pretty much ended my career. So yeah, something I've worked years toward, and pretty much just ended with one phone call. And not that, I also lost, well, let's just say the hero didn't get the girl in this story, so I lost that as well. And that also really, really hurt. And when that happens, I pretty much felt like my entire world just collapsed in on itself. And I had a really hard time moving forward to continue life as it is. I'm not just saying that out of a sense of dramatic flair. It was just hard to stay focused on, what was going on around me, and to find something new, as in to do. And part of the things I eventually got to do was making these videos. I also mentioned this really early during one of my first videos, was like the therapeutic effect of making videos, filming myself while playing games, just stepping out into the open, letting myself be seen, and just doing things, be more productive than just hiding. Now, I want you all to understand, if you are still watching, is that I have a developmental disorder. And I'm not going to go into exactly what it is. I did the tests, I talked to the people, and they say, well, that's what you have. And I'm not saying that as an excuse. No, it's never an excuse. It is an explanation of the way that my mind works, how my brain works, how my brain is hardwired. It basically says that I do have a lot of trouble moving through society as it is, because for a large part I just don't understand things, or I don't feel connected to it. Then again, and this is just an important thing for me to realize, and an important thing to understand for myself, is I have come a long way so far in the past years. For most of my life, it's been from one bit of growth to the next bit of growth. The job I lost was being a teacher, a biology teacher, and I loved it. I really, really loved being a teacher. I could just step in front of a class and do my thing. And I loved working with my pupils. I love working with kids. It is, for all intents and purposes, my dream job. It still is, even after a year that I haven't been able to, stand in front of a class. It is just that important for me. And that just signifies, the loss of not being able to be a teacher. But where I come from, it's just one huge leap from where I started to where I ended at that point. I mean, when I was in school, when I was like 14, 15, I had to learn how to look people in the eye while talking to them. That's where I come from. I had counseling, I had help, and I grew. And then I went to university. And one of the things you have to do in university, or basically any kind of study, if you're going to college, you have to be able to stand in front of groups. And a lot of people are never really comfortable with that. And I sure as hell wasn't. I mean, I just learned how to look people in the eye while talking to them. But there I went. I went in front of the people, in front of my class, in front of the professors, and I just talked to them. I basically created a role for myself right there in front of a group of people. So I grew and I grew and I grew, and eventually I reached a goal. I became a teacher, and I set myself a new goal: to be a bloody good teacher. And unfortunately, I never got to realize that. But yeah, I lost pretty much everything I built up to that point, and everything that I had experienced, all the growth. And that still gets me down. Right here, right now, after almost a year, it still gets me down that I lost so much. And that I have to work toward a new goal. And it's really hard for me to set myself a new goal, because I don't really have any handles left at this point. And I do try and I do get help, but at times it's still overwhelming, and that is the point when I withdraw. And I can't really justify why I do that, because like I mentioned, it's really not productive. But then you get the feeling that it is just too much, and you just take a step back and try to calm down. And that's me locking myself up in my ivory tower, trying to calm down, get back my bearings, try to renew my focus, and see if I can get a goal. And I do have a goal. I have sort of a job right now. which is not much, but it is something. And I'm focusing on other job opportunities. Maybe creating something for myself. Um, Maybe starting a traineeship somewhere. But I am working on that. I do tests. I try to create stuff. I try to keep myself busy and try to improve things that I feel should be improved. So, yeah. But that sense of loss, even though it shouldn't be there anymore, I don't want it there. It's still lingering. And it doesn't really help that the world around me kinda seems to reflect stuff that I've lost. I mean, a job is one thing. I can get a new job. I can create something for myself. There will be something new. But if I turn on the telly, spring is about to be on us, or maybe it's already the meteorological spring as this video goes up, I don't know. But the media around you reflects that. So there are lots of programs on TV like Temptation Islands or whatnot that remind me of the love I have lost, which also really hurt. And I try to indulge in stuff that takes my mind away, takes my mind off stuff, like watching series, like watching television series. I watched Doctor Who, for example. Sort of binge watched it actually. I have watched most of the series up until this point, at least the renewal, and it was a gut punch how the Doctor lost Rose Tyler. That was a really bloody gut punch. So while I did that to, get distracted, it just reminded me again of losing stuff. Similar example, I was watching The Arrow, and there was this whole commotion, and they were trying to save this one guy. And this one guy was the love interest of the protagonist's sister. So they saved him, and even though they have been apart for like 3 years, the first moment they laid eyes on each other, it was like, yeah, the chemistry is still there, the love is still there. And again, gut punch. It really hurt. And another reminder of things I've lost. And I know this is negative thinking. That's not smart. I know that. But I don't find it easy to handle all those feelings. Be it losing a job, be it losing love, be it losing whatever is important. It leaves a void, and it needs to be revealed some way. And of course, this isn't the first time that I've felt loss. Everyone at some point in their life will feel loss, and most likely multiple times over and over again in their lives. That is life. You can't escape it. And I know that. That's the logical thought. But unfortunately, we humans are not logical beings, we are emotional beings. And so I get stressed out, I get down, sad, angry, all that jazz. But yeah, the same is not true for, like television. It's also true for music. One of the bands that I recently sort of rediscovered is Communic. It's epic music, and I love it. But even for like a prog metal band like that, there are lots of songs that kinda bring back what happened. So, just a short quote. This is a bit from Conspiracy in Mind by Communic. It basically jump-started my, I guess, downfall. Is that too dramatic to say? I'm just gonna go with that. It just reflects that, okay? So bear with me. So the bit is, I see tears in your eyes. I sense weakness inside. I will take you far away to the deepest of your dreams. Let me in on your stream, to the entrance of your deep. The stupid thing is, the reason why I lost it all is because I was trying to do well. I was trying to do even good. And it sounds really abstract now that I say that out loud, but I honestly mean it. I tried to do good. That's all I ever want in life. I want to help people, to make people happy, to help people forward in life, to help them tackle things. Because for a large part, I reflect my sense of self-worth to the worth, or to the amount I'm worth to others. So if others think I'm valuable, I find myself valuable. And at this point, and that's basically what really made it difficult for me after I lost my job, is that I had no real way, no valid way of being useful for people at that moment. Even worse, they kind of locked me away. I'm not gonna say it explicitly, but hey, it happened. And I was just there for 2 weeks, and that was the most miserable time in my life. Even though, like here in this country, it's really not all that bad being there, but I just was useless. My life had no meaning. And that's basically what makes things difficult for me nowadays. And that's another bit from that song Conspiracy in Mind. Just I spiral into a ground illusion in a world of reality beyond. I see tears in your eyes, always out of reach. I want to sleep for eternity. I have the most problems with my goals, what I want, what I really feel I want to do, being out of my reach. I don't really know how to help people at this point. I don't know how to accrue self-worth at this point in time. And don't get me wrong, I'm not asking for attention. I'm not asking you to tell me that I'm worthy or whatever. No, this is just me sharing my inner thoughts with whoever is willing to listen. In the past, I fell in love with the tears in, well, but now everything is out of reach, and I find that really hard to cope with. And I really feel tired of everything around me at times. Like, I know, and I want to focus on something, and I want to rebuild. I'm trying to, and I'm doing that. But the feeling that I was punished, and I may be punished more for trying to do good, just kind of takes the kind of takes my initiative away. Kind of takes my energy away. So yeah, that's why I have been locking myself up for the past 1.5, 2 weeks. Because, yeah, everything seems to be out of reach. And don't get me wrong, I'm not alone. For example, and this really moved me pretty much to tears. I was I was last Friday at my F&M, and one of the managers of the club, the guys who organize it all, he walked up to me, and he knows a bit about what's going on. Me lose my job and all, and he asked me how I was doing, and at one point he said to me, and I'm just taking some liberal interpretation here because I don't really recall the entire conversation as it was, but he said something to me like, everyone in their lives makes mistakes, and even some huge stupid ones. And the important bit is not that you've made the mistake. It's not that you did something so incredibly stupid that it just halted your life for a moment. No, the important thing is how you react to it, how you get up from falling down, how you try and rebuild, how you move forward. And if you rebuild, if you try to make up for your mistakes, that counts for something. That is really important, and that has me wondering. And this is a real, I was going to say stupid question. This is a question that's hard to answer. Like, I did something that broke the law. Well, at least I did something that broke good faith. Let's put it like that. And for me, to a certain degree, the question does boil down to what actually counts if you do something wrong. Does the act count, or does the intention count? Is it more important that something stupid happened, or does it count more that it happened with the best of intentions? What is more important? And I've really been wondering about that, and I don't really have an answer. I guess in truth it shouldn't be black or white as that, but it would be nice to have a black and white answer to that. It might just put my mind at ease, because, well, to be actually dramatic, I feel still haunted by my past at this point. And it's the recent past. It's not something from far away. And I make it sound all dramatic, but yeah, I do have the nightly nightmares. I do have the random thoughts nagging, popping up that I did a bad thing. And then I do wonder if I have a right to go for my original goal, to do good, do well. But yeah, then the words from the manager at F&M, one of the organizers, they pop up again. They pop up nowadays. No, it's not about the mistake you made. It's about what you do to make it right. So I try to focus on the intention being the important bit, and not the act. And that's pretty much what has been going on, guys. I don't know if a lot of you who are listening to me speaking at this moment will understand how it is to go through all this. And maybe you do. And then I hope that in that case, that you also try to look forward and stay positive. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you're like, yeah, I don't know that feeling, then I'm happy for you and I hope you never ever have to go through that. Because it is just really, really, really hard to do. And to paraphrase Communic again, same song by the way. Please release the weight that lies on my shoulders. I just want to lose that. And I'm not directing that at anyone in particular. I wouldn't want to. Because that's a stupid thing. That's the most weird thing about this all. At the moment, bad things happen and you find yourself in a position where you don't really want to look back but move forward. It almost inevitably feels like you're dragging weight behind you. And yes, a large portion of that weight needs to be released, needs to go away. But some bits of that weight are just too important to let go. They're just constant reminders, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Like, yeah, I lost my job. I lost my career, in fact. But I do still have pretty much the same goal. Help people. Be there for others. Try and make others grow and help them tackle life's issues. So yeah, there's a bit of weight that I want to continue to bear with me. That's a bit of burden. That's just a reminder of who I am. I have lost love. But the incredible feeling that someone looks at you with a certain expression, that's not something you want to lose. That's something to cherish. Something to keep with you. So that even in the end of your life, you know there was that person. And that's important as well. Excuse me. So yeah. Again, if you feel for me, I thank you. If you feel that I'm just being an attention whore, fine, go ahead. I don't care. But if you get the lesson out of this, and if you can find it in your heart to forgive me, you know, not uploading, and for like talking like a half an hour straight, then you are awesome. And you are one of the best persons that I will have the pleasure to, well, speak to. I can't really say meet because, well, let's be real here. But yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and move forward. Try and stay positive. But yeah, if I ever disappear again for like a week or something, without any notice, like, oh no, my job is taking so much time, or I just stumbled into this project, so I need to focus on that. And if I ever disappear unannounced like that, just know that I'm in my ivory tower, and that's okay. I still think about every message of, well, every positive message I got on the tube, and everyone that had my back. I really appreciate that. So yeah, I will continue uploading videos. I'm a bit reorientating, but I will talk about that later in another video. So if you are still listening, know that you are awesome. and that I really thank you from the bottom of my heart for doing so, for bearing with me, for being patient and being, well, I guess, supportive. So again, thank you, and I hope to see you during one of my future videos, future streams, or whatever. Cheerio.